DGA service. Can you shed light on the counterterrorism legislative landscape that is governing this country beyond the ATA?
Absolutely. Just before I answer that, I want to commend Zainab for the excellent job that she and her team have done, and the entire RSL team for that. One aim for why we developed this was that the debate concerning human rights and counterterrorism is that you can't enhance your counterterrorism ability without infringing on human rights. And that's a traditional narrative. And to quite an extent, that's correct. If you enhance state powers of state law enforcement entities, there is going to be some impact on human rights enforcement. But the question comes, and what we see in Pakistan is, that what if you are impinging on human rights, but at the same time not achieving your counterterrorism aims? That your conviction rates are not going up, that other issues are not being addressed. That is something which is highly problematic, because you are getting most of the liability and the problems, but you're not getting much of the benefits of this approach. So what we've been cognizant about in this report has been that fighting terrorism isn't the cleanest game. Restrictions on human rights do take place. We are cognizant of this, and at times this is a necessity, and you've seen this all around the world with counterterrorism legislation. But at the same time, how do we ensure that the impact on human rights is as minimal as possible, so that you and me, people who are not involved in such activities, do not be impacted by this thing. And I think it's a wonderful balance that Zainab and the team have found in trying to secure human rights while at the same time promote prosecutions and promote a mechanism by which the state can be more effective in dealing with terrorism. Coming to the question, so it's very interesting that another debate is, do we even need a specialized system to deal with terrorism? Because in the end, terrorism is a crime. And so you have a criminal justice system, regular courts. Do you even need specialized courts? I would suggest that in Pakistan, the initial intent of the Anti-Terrorism Act to have a short, a limited trial and have quick convictions was the right approach. It's something that we need. Unfortunately, it has been clogged down significantly by, as Subsab said, the clutter of unnecessary cases coming here. What we have, in addition to the Anti-Terrorism Act, is the Pakistan Penal Code. Subsab mentioned Section 121, which refers to waging war against the state. Now, terrorism is a wide concept, and waging war against the state would also fall within, this definition. We have the military courts, which have been established under the Pakistan Army Act, which also deal with what would be seen as terrorism offenses. So you have another law that is dealing with that there. Of course, military courts deal with a very small fraction of the thousands of cases that are referred to anti-terrorism courts. So we have the military courts there. We've had an experiment with the Protection of Pakistan Act, which had some very interesting innovations brought into the law. It didn't work out, and there were many reasons, which is beyond the scope of this conference, but that was another tool that we used. And in FATA and PATA specifically, we have the Actions in Aid of Civil Power Regulations, which really looks at counter-militancy. And it's intended and addresses the armed forces as opposed to the police and law enforcement entities. And so that's quite a useful tool specifically for that context. So what I just want to mention is that all of these laws, what we have done is analyze them in the previous publications. This is really a two-part launch, if you will. This is a book that we launched last year, January 2017. And a year later, we had the second version. So this looks at the entire counterterrorism legislative landscape, much of what I just discussed, in a lot of detail, and how it impacts human rights. And now we've tried to launch something that looks at the anti-terrorism court trial procedure, in which thousands of individuals go. So I just want to leave it at that.
Thank you so much.